Anyone with even a passing interest in Korea is likely familiar with Admiral Yi Sun-sin, a national hero of Korea. His life and exploits have been the subject of many TV shows and films in Korea, earning him widespread popularity. His fame is even starting to spread globally. This time, we're diving into one of Admiral Yi Sun-sin's most renowned battles, the Battle of Hansando. This battle is sometimes counted among the 4 greatest naval battles in history, alongside the Battle of Salamis, the Battle of Calais, and the Battle of Trafalgar. While its status as one of the top 4 isn't officially confirmed, it's a chapter of history deeply honored in Korea. To understand the Battle of Hansando, it's key to know about the Imjin War. This conflict, from 1592 to 1597, saw Japan under the Toyotomi regime invade Korea's Joseon dynasty right after Japan's own internal conflicts ended. The Battle of Hansando stands out as one of Joseon's most triumphant victories during the Imjin War. Let's dive into this crucial chapter of history starting now. In 1592, between May and June, under the leadership of Admiral Yi Sun-sin, the Joseon Navy launched a series of decisive strikes against the Japanese fleets, achieving overwhelming victories at Sacheon, Dangpo, Danghangpo, and Yopo. These victories were essentially one-sided, demonstrating the formidable prowess of Admiral Yi and his fleet. Concerned about these developments, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the Japanese leader, feared that the Joseon Navy's continued success would push the Japanese forces on the coast further east. In response, on June 23rd, he issued orders to Wakisaka Yasuharu, who was stationed in Yongin, to return to the coast. He also called upon Kuki Yoshitaka, regarded as the top authority of the Japanese Navy, along with Kato Yoshiaki. The trio was tasked with rallying the army to counteract and defeat the naval forces of Joseon. On the other side, in a strategic move, the Joseon Navy bolstered its forces. On August 12th, a fleet led by another of Joseon's admirals, Iergi and Wongyun, joined forces with Admiral Yi's fleet at Noryang, bringing the total to 55 ships. This formidable assembly underscored the determination and preparedness of the Joseon Navy to defend its waters and thwart any further Japanese advances. On June 14th, the Japanese Navy, with Kuki Yoshitaka at its helm, gathered at Busanpo. However, Wakisaka Yasuharu, underestimating the strategic acumen of the Joseon army, led his fleet to Gyeoje Island on July 7th, striking out on his own. That evening, the Joseon Navy received intelligence that around 70 Japanese ships were anchored in Gyeoneryang. This was confirmed the next day near Hansan Island. The Japanese fleet, composed of 73 ships, 36 large, 24 medium, and 13 small, was stationed in Gyeoneryang. Admiral Yi Sun-sin realized that employing the same surround and annihilate tactic used in previous battles would not yield favorable results against this formation. Confronted with the inevitability of a full-scale naval clash, the Joseon Navy crafted a plan to draw the enemy into the waters off Hansan Island and completely destroy them. The plan initiated with a decoy, a small fleet designed to lure the entire Japanese fleet out into the open sea. Wakizaka, underestimating the Joseon forces, pursued the bait, leading his fleet into a trap. As Wakizaka's fleet ventured in, the Joseon forces, positioned on either side of Hansando, split into 3 units and executed the crane wing formation, encircling and unleashing crossfire upon the Japanese forces. This crane wing formation, which fans out to surround the enemy, has been a strategic maneuver both in the East and West, historically and in modern times. At that critical moment, the tide turned, literally. The current shifted against the Japanese, and the Joseon Navy advanced, firing cannons and fire arrow. Caught in a relentless barrage from all sides, the Japanese warships were decimated, with over 40 ships lost without managing a single retaliatory strike. In the aftermath, Wakizaka's surviving forces fled, abandoning their ships near Hansan Island, while other Japanese vessels, having observed the battle from a distance, retreated upon witnessing the destruction of their front line. Upon hearing of Wakizaka's defeat, Kuki Yoshitaka and Kato Yoshiaki rushed to the scene, only to meet the same fate at the hands of the Joseon Navy. The Battle of Hansando marked the first defensive engagement undertaken by the Joseon Navy. Yet Admiral Yi Sun-sin didn't limit his strategy to mere defense. He aimed to protect Jeolla-do, but went further, utterly decimating the Japanese naval forces with his remarkable tactical prowess. His strategy wasn't just to defend, but to encircle and annihilate the enemy at sea, showcasing an aggressive defense that took the fight directly to the adversary. For the Japanese military, the Battle of Hansando was their first major offensive against Admiral Yi Sun-sin's fleet. This battle was crucial for the Japanese Navy, tasked with the critical supply lines and the defense of Jeolla-do, pivotal for their campaigns towards Ichi, Ungchi, Jeonju Castle, and Jinju Castle. The significant loss the Japanese Navy faced in this battle didn't just halt their advance, it essentially dismantled their strategy for occupying Joseon at a strategic level. Such was the scale of defeat that just 2 days later, at the Battle of Angolpo, Kuki Yoshitaka's fleet too was obliterated. The Japanese naval force, numbering over 100 ships, faced catastrophic losses within a span of 3 days. Realizing the diminishing returns of naval engagements, Toyotomi Hideyoshi declared a ban on naval battles, shifting focus to coastal defense. This decision allowed the Joseon Navy to regain complete control over the South Sea. Control of the maritime regions, particularly the South Sea, was of paramount importance. Had the Japanese succeeded in dominating the West Sea, resupplying their forces would have become significantly easier. Their strategy hinged on securing the West Sea to facilitate army supplies, and to then assert dominance over the South Sea by deploying their main naval forces. Thus, Admiral Yi Sun-sin and the Joseon Navy's success in maintaining control over the South Sea dealt a severe blow to the Japanese forces that had landed on the Korean peninsula. This victory led to an assault on Japan's main base in Busan, causing a substantial setback to the Japanese campaign. The intended synchronized advancement of the Japanese Army and Navy fell apart. Moreover, the ripple effect of the victory at Hansando invigorated the activities of volunteer armies, laying the groundwork for a counteroffensive by the Joseon forces. This not only showcased the strategic acumen of Yi Sun-sin, but also significantly shifted the momentum of the conflict.